Hi everyone, let's talk about shower valves. In this video, I'm going to show you a small job that I did where I replaced a cartridge on a Delta shower valve. I'm also going to show you a little bit about how to do a replacement on a Moen style shower valve as well. Those are the two most common ones I see in the Midwest where I live. Then I'll also show you a very uncommon type shower valve that I installed in my upstairs bathroom. So stay tuned. That's stripped. This is the Delta valve. I'm going to have to break the handle off because the set screw is completely stripped inside there. So I'm going to break the handle off, replace the cartridge because it won't stop dripping. So here's my Delta stuff. I've actually got a valve, which they shouldn't need. This is the cartridge right here. I also got an extra handle. I just broke the handle right off. I'll have to either fix it or replace it. Working it back and forth. I finally got that pulled out here. That sticker. Why is there a sticker? That should be cleaned out. Let me get a fittings brush. Okay, new cartridge back in. Temporary chrome handle. I apologize for not getting footage of the reinsertion of the new cartridge, but I'll just show you here. Hopefully the lighting's okay. Basically, this is the valve body here. So this will be inside the wall, obviously. The only thing I did was I took the new cartridge, I located the H that's embossed in the side. Make sure that you locate that H. Notice there's a little triangle point on either side of the valve that will line up with the valve body. So basically, once you find the H, just make sure that's on the left side, and then just push this back in, making sure that it seats itself. Now, I'm not going to do it on this new one because I don't want to just embed it in here. It'll be hard for me to get it out, but make sure it's pushed all the way in. So not like this. Make sure this is all the way in. And then once that's pushed in, by the way, you probably put a little bit of grease on it as well, the plumbing grease. Then I just put the, back the way it came. I put the retaining ring, threaded that back on all the way, and then just took the escutcheon and slid that back on, and then of course mounted the handle to there, and that was done. The other thing I forgot to mention was the temperature adjustment. So when the valve isn't first installed, and I think if you noticed when I turned it, the handle goes on like this. And you notice that when it gets turned, it goes, well, maybe like this. The thumb is the handle. It goes about quarter turn. And notice that there's this plastic piece here, and it's spring loaded, and it has these two arrows, hot and cold, hotter and colder. If you pull this piece out, you can turn it one way or the other. And for the most part, you're going to turn it counterclockwise on the hotter side. So I turned it about 3 or 4 notches this way. Basically, so when you do this with the handle off, you can then put the handle back on, and this should just allow the handle to turn a little bit further than a quarter turn. So if you go hotter, you should notice it going a little bit further to the counterclockwise. And for the most part, you will probably need to adjust this hotter because, you know, like I said, the default is the center indent in the middle, and it makes it basically go a quarter turn, and that usually is not hot enough for most people. So you just, like I said, you just pull it out. It's spring loaded, and you can just you know, adjust it one way or the other. But for the most part, you're probably going to want to adjust it a little bit further hot, and then just always put the handle back on, test it, and make sure that you know, it's the right temperature. You know, especially if there's children in the household, maybe you don't want to do it too hot. But if it's all adults, you'll probably want it. They probably want it hotter. So it's just adjust to taste, so that you just don't scald the person using it. So how to tell if you have a Moen or a Delta shower valve based on what it looks like externally? Well, obviously the first way to do it is just to look for the name tag here, but if that's not readily apparent from the plate, a telltale sign that it's a Moen is if you look behind the handle here, you'll see a very small diameter escutcheon, and you'll also see this little bump out at the top of the escutcheon, and I'll show you in a moment. That's where the clip that holds the Moen cartridge in place, which is not what Delta has. Kind of hold it up next to it. So you can see that the Delta has a much thicker escutcheon, and it also is round and smooth, so there is absolutely no little bump out like the Moen has. So there's kind of a comparison there. That kind of gives you an idea. I apologize, I don't have the handle right now, but that's what'll kind of get as a dead giveaway for Moen versus Delta. And here's the Moen valve without the handle on. You can see that we have this black piece, and behind it this white piece here. This is the temperature adjustment, where you can adjust where the temperature stops. So I just took the little set screw, little hex set screw out of the handle, and fortunately with these, it's kind of annoying because you have to take the set screw all the way out because that screw actually screws into this plastic piece, but it also prevents it from getting bound against metal, so that's the good thing. But once you take this screw out and you pull these plastic pieces out, you can then take the housing and the clip out. Now for this cartridge, what you can see here is, in order to get this out, you need to take the faceplate off with these two screws, and then you have access to this clip here. You simply pull this clip out. I'm not going to do that now because I don't want to turn my water off, but once the outer plate's off, what I would do is grab it with a little pick and just pull it up, and that takes this clip out. And then to get the cartridge out, you'll need a special tool. So this tool is sold at, I think I bought this at a big box store like Menards or Home Depot. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to thread this handle right here with this set screw right here, which has a screw inside of it, into the handle here, and then this little jaw right here, that section right there, once you thread it in, this will go around the cartridge there, and what it'll do is just give you more leverage, because once you take this clip out, all that needs to happen is you need to pull the cartridge out. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to turn my water off, but this thing simply, once it's locked in, you can kind of rotate it and get the seal to kind of break on it, and then once you've kind of rotated it, you can just use the leverage on here, this handle, to just pull the whole unit out. With the hope is to get the cartridge out one piece. But that's one of the disadvantages of this Moen cartridge is, number one, it usually involves this special tool, which costs, maybe $20, $30 to buy. And number two, these things can get, especially with real hard water, these things can get really stuck in there and very difficult to pull out. Now, on my upstairs valve, I actually have a very kind of a rare valve, but it's actually very common in the UK and in Europe, and that is an external mixing valve. You can see here, this unit is a German brand called Grohe, and this is called the Grohe Grotherm 1000. It's a thermostatic shower mixing valve. It's anti-scald, and you can see that there's two knobs on each side. The way you plumb it in is very simple. You just plumb in 2 half-inch drop ears inside the wall, one for hot and cold. There's a male-to-male nipple that that goes in the drop ears that this bolts onto, so it's very easy to install and uninstall. Like I said, the left-hand knob is the temperature control. The right-hand knob is the volume control, which turns on the actual shower. This does have replaceable cartridges, both on the flow control and on the temperature control sides, so you can repair it. And it's also, like I said, it's anti-scald, so it's a very interesting unit. Well, I know this video wasn't exactly an exhaustive overview of these shower valves and their cartridge replacements, but if you have any questions, just leave them for me in the comments and I'll get right back to you. Thanks for sharing, and subscribing.